From her.
Friday, Miley.
And 40.
This guy over here makes some for me too. The judge. Oh, yeah, he's a pen.
I love that. That's like, I recognize the
Yeah.
kids on it.
That is, this is the, we got two of them that are about 150 years old, and that is the mesquite tree that's out behind mom and dad's place. And I've got the Bodie Boys d'Arc, I guess. Yeah, I love it. Keepsake when mom and dad are gone. All right, it's 10 o'clock. Call the meeting to order.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for today, Lord. We thank you for the recent rain that you've given us, Lord, and we'll take some more. Lord, we just ask you to be with us as we conduct county business. We ask you to get us home safely. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. probably like that, but at the beginning of school, huh?
Say that you-
You said you like that, it was like the big room, for pledges.
Yes,
The other day at school, it was,
yeah, it was, there were lots of people saying the pledges, it was pretty incredible. All right, thank you, everybody, for coming. At this time, any persons with business before the court not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the court. No formal action to be taken on these items at this meeting. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. Okay, I'm not seeing any, so we'll move on to interprecinct project schedule and staffing. So I found out, Terry, that we can discuss the project, but we need an agenda item to actually vote on anything. So,
Makes sense.
there's a project over at the industrial park, paving the roads. And we agreed to pave those roads a while back, do the seal coating on it. We did not discuss that, I can remember, who's paying for the material. So at some point, at the next agenda, I'm gonna put on there to discuss the payment of those materials. So, did you want to discuss it at all?
Well, as all of you know, it's been, oh my goodness, probably 6 or 8 years since we did any seal coating at all for the first Snyder. We do have another local agreement with them. Their side of it goes on continually. So they furnish us a lot of dumpsters. They also, even outside of the interlocal agreement, they have furnished us many things. For instance, most of you weren't here, but whenever we were redoing the annex, we had tons of trash. And they offered their roll-offs, saved us a ton of money because it went on for months where they were tearing out, putting back, and then digging out for the sewer system there for those offices that were put into that area. Whenever we had the golf course country club building, as you know, they brought out roll-offs and hauled off most of that material as well. And so that's not in the interlocal agreement. And so every time, that's been my experience, that we've talked to the city about helping us with something that we didn't have, or that was going to cost us a lot of money, they have provided what they had. As you know, all the golf cart paths, the trail brought out their lay down machine. And so I felt that it come upon us. Now, I didn't realize at first what they were asking. We've always paid for the material up front, and they've always reimbursed us. But as I got to looking back at how long it's been since we've done anything for them, and how patient they've been, and not to say, come over here and talk to us about, well, our interlocal agreement's lopsided here. I know they could have done ship seals at any time if they wanted to. We would have done that for them if we had material. There was 3 years there was no material, as you all know. The first 3 years of the grant that we had, there was no rock because somebody with a large projects were using all the rock up. And so we weren't able to even get it at the time. And so I think it's incumbent upon us to take care of this. I think it's less than a mile, maybe a little bit more out there at do you have the exact?
Yeah, it's 36 wide, 5,450 feet.
Okay, so a little over a mile. Okay, so anyway, it will, I don't think it will make up the difference of what they've done for us in the past. There's a lot more we could talk about that they have done for us ongoing. And so I'd like for us, next time that we have it on the agenda, that we could agree that we should do this for them and kind of make up for some of what they've been doing for us all this time.
Speaking of the annex, parking lot's done.
Okay.
City's gonna sweep it Wednesday. I'll get with Todd, get it painted.
Okay, get with Matt. He's been using the city's striping machine, and they can do it a whole lot faster.
We'll have to get the dimensions of one side's gonna be van, the other side's gonna be vehicle, car, whatever. But anyway, it's done.
Okay, I'll get those.
Then help out with that. Appreciate that.
I'll get the ADA dimensions. I'll do it.
They're gonna sweep it Wednesday. We swept it, but we left a little ridge, and they're gonna come by with theirs and fix it up. And, you know,
That's great.
looks very nice, so.
Anything else going on? Everything's just good?
Same old, same old.
We are repairing frac tanks, getting them ready to set up so that we can start with 1105.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let Pocolambro come up and do the presentation. This is Patrick Sherrill with Pocolambro. That way he doesn't have to sit around and listen to all the other.
All right, good morning. Thank you for giving us a little time this morning. Going to try to work through this presentation. If you have questions, feel free to interrupt me or wait till the end, or you can come catch me sometime hanging out in Snyder. So don't know how many of you have heard of Pocolambro before. We've been around since 1975, and 1950. We're 75 years old. And I'll show you a little timeline on our history. But our name, most people ask about our name. Anybody know where our name comes from? So a long time ago, we were designed to serve the rural areas in 4 counties, and they chose the names of the county seats and combined those. So it was Post and Tahoka, Poca, Lamesa and Brownfield, Lambro. So there you got a little trivia for the morning.
Okay.
So like I said, we were formed in 1950 as a cooperative. That's our parent company today. And we were on the mission to get phones to the farms, which didn't exist at that time, but there were some government programs that allowed that to happen. So the first 20 years of our existence was really about just expanding the network into the area. We moved from manual switches manned by people to automated switches during that time span. The next 20 years, the 70s and 80s, we moved to single party lines. Does anybody remember what a multi-party line is? Anyone? Yeah. So we moved to single party lines. That was a big technology thing. But there's lots of firsts in our history. We were the first fiber optics in West Texas, and that was a route from Lubbock to Midland. Still operate on that route today. The first government licenses for wireless cellular service, we were part of a partnership that obtained those licenses, and still in that partnership today, you know it as AT&T. And we've got a little piece of their operation in West Texas. In the next 20 years, the 90s and 2000s, we operated digital cellular. So as cellular service first started as analog, they made some more spectrum available. Pocolambro acquired some of that and launched digital cellular, which was a pretty strong regional brand until all of that collapsed into the big boys. So that was sold off to AT&T eventually. We were the first competitive phone provider in Texas. That was in Seagrave. So your second little bit of trivia for today. And then when everybody started internet in the mid to late 90s, Pocolambro was in on doing that. Dial-up modems was how we started in 1996, I believe. The last are 15 years, so the 2010s, and we're in the midst of the 2020s. We've launched fiber to the home services. We now do multiple gig broadband service. And then we've been expanding our service area a bit, which gets me to the next timeline, which is our timeline with Snyder and Scurry County. So 2019, I sat around the table with some of our leadership team, and we looked at areas where we could expand and, kind of looked at our network and next adjacent cities. Snyder was on that list. And it wasn't just Snyder, it was all of Scurry County. And I'll go into why we operate that way in a little bit. But we put that down and we said, okay, but to serve Scurry County, we really need to operate in Snyder. To operate in Snyder, our nearest fiber is 30 miles away in Gale. And so we would have to build not just 30 miles to get to Snyder, but 30 miles to ring it back. And I'll explain why we do rings when we build a network later. So we have to build 60 miles of fiber, which was a huge investment. Hard to make the business plan work. We didn't say no, but we said not yet. Then in 2022, the Development Corporation of Snyder, Barbara, thank you, issued an RFP and was looking actively for providers to come in and serve Snyder. And so we responded to that RFP. I don't know that we exactly provided the plan that they were looking for, but we said, we think we can make something work, but we're gonna have to go get some grant money to fix that 60-mile fiber problem. Lo and behold, there were grant programs that had been launched at that time. We went out and we got a grant that was awarded in 2023. Since it was a federal grant, you can imagine we had to do a year of paperwork before we actually were able to build in 2024. We started building that fiber ring, and we should have it complete, if not this week, then next week. And so in 2025, we're looking to launch services, and I'll talk about what that means for not just Snyder, but other communities in Scurry County as well. So first, let me talk about fiber, why you want to consider fiber. So there's a lot of different technologies for broadband. You've got fiber, you've got low Earth orbit or LEO satellites. So you hear about Starlink, Elon Musk thing. There's also, you haven't heard about it much yet, but Kuiper from Amazon is another low Earth orbit satellite that's out there. You've got fixed wireless access, FWA or WISP. We love our acronyms in telecom. Wireless Internet Service Provider. So those are the guys that they put something on the tower and they broadcast it out. Some of the traditional cellular providers are getting into that business. They have a home internet. So T-Mobile's got that out there right now. Then you have hybrid fiber coax. So that's traditionally what cable companies have come into broadband. You've got DSL, which is old copper, and that's kind of fading out. So I want to focus on three technologies, and I've got a very long technical presentation about why fiber is just so technically superior, and it has to do with the fact that you're shooting light waves over crystal clear medium of fiber. You can do so much more with that frequency than you can with RF through the atmosphere. I won't get into all the technical details, but if you're ever bored and want to hear it, come see me. But I'll show you one slide that we prepared. This was part of a presentation we made in Austin for some legislative staff, just to show a comparison between a fiber to the home provider, which is Nortex. They're up in Gainesville. There's also a LEO provider there, and there was a WISP, wireless internet service provider. And we just took the Ookla results. So if you ever do speedtest.net, that's Ookla is the company that does that, and they make those tests public. And so you can just see there the difference in performance. This is actual consumer performance. It's not, manufacturers or anything else. This comes off of people at their homes or businesses doing speed tests, and it's collected by Ookla. So you can see download speed far superior, upload speed even more superior. I think you guys understand upload and download. When you're streaming, download is what you're pulling down. If you have a business and you need to upload big files, data files, things like that, upload speed matters. Latency is one that people don't always understand, but that's how fast a packet can travel in and out of your network. That's usually most evident in real-time communications. If you've ever been on a Zoom call, or if you've ever watched an interview where they're doing a satellite interview overseas, and the person talks and the other person waits, and the other person responds, then the original person waits and responds. That's latency. It's taking a long time for the signal to get back and forth. So you can see again, when it comes to latency, and actually down there I reversed the WISP and the LEO. So WISP are actually faster than LEOs on latency, and that has to do with the fact that it's a long ways up to those satellites. Even though they're closer, they're still 300 and something miles up in the air. So fiber is just a better performer. Next, I want to talk about why Pocolambro is unique in this market and what we do that's unusual. So you'll see this on our office wall, and this is something that we don't just say, it's something that we really live. I think it comes from the fact that we're a cooperative. The parent company is a cooperative. So we're all about service to others, honest relationships. I'll tell you just a side story. We're doing construction in Snyder right now. We've been building the ring around the county. My Pocolambro truck's driving around. I've seen this construction. If that is what's happening with my board president's wife, there's a higher level of accountability. So I'm not going to come in here and tell you stories. We've got to be honest in our relationships because we're local. And then community success. We try to make sure that the community is healthy, that we can provide something that is going to help you, and we cheer for your success. So if you can move to the next slide. How we live that out. So maximum impact, that is an aerial view of kind of the southwest part of Snyder. And I just show that because that's got a little mix of everything. You've got business, you've got some high income housing, you've got some low income housing, and you got some low density rural area all in one place. Now, most providers would look at that map and they would say, okay, we like the businesses. They pay us a lot of money. Schools, those are good to serve because they can be worth a lot on a contract. High income, we like that because they buy our biggest, best projects. So we're going to prioritize, build out those areas. And then when it comes to low income, we're not so sure we want to serve that. They don't always buy the most internet package. They don't always pay their bill on time. And then that low density stuff is just too expensive to serve. Because of our values, Pocolambro, we look at that map and we say, okay, we've got to figure out a business plan where we can make profit, but we can still serve everything. Because what we want to do is maximize our impact to the community. We look at the low income and we say, you know what happens when you serve a low income consumer? Well, they have access to healthcare. They have access to education. They have access to apply for job opportunities, train for job opportunities, even work from home. So that's a good thing. We're going to figure out how to serve them. What about the low density rural place? Well, my board are a bunch of farmers. They understand the rural economy as good as anybody. And they want to know, how are we going to get those places served? We understand that the community of Snyder has a lot to do with oil and natural gas, wind and solar, farming and ranching. And so we're going to figure out a way to serve those areas as well. So we try to maximize our impact. Fast response, we have local people. We have eyes on glass monitoring our network 24/7, 365. We have people on call to go fix a problem 24/7, 365. Most telecoms do. A lot of people think, well, we're small. We don't, but we do. Local engagement, that's our new store. I hope you've noticed it if you've driven down College Avenue. Actually, officially, we've had some people in there for a while, but we're officially open today. We're going to work on a grand opening date soon, and I'll let you guys know when that is, have a ribbon cutting and those kind of things. We want to have a store. Not a lot of people usually come into our store where we want to have it available. We have to have a place for our customer service reps to sit. And so we have a local store so they can be there. And if you have questions, you can come in and talk with us. Also a new level of accountability, because if we didn't do right by you, you can come into our store and you can talk to somebody about that. And then that picture in the bottom right, you may think that's a boring picture. I think that's something that's just beautiful. That's our new central office location, kind of the hub of our network. And so just some things that I can show you about that network. First, you can't really tell, but there's fiber coming in from two different directions to that building. So it's completely redundant fiber routes. Those are two air conditioners that are on the side. We want two of them because if one breaks, that equipment needs to stay cool or it's going to shut down. We don't have it yet. I think we're going to put it in this week. We're going to have a generator on site so that if we lose power, we can continue power. And inside, we're going to have 16 hours of battery backup. So we're going to also have another redundant piece of the network. So building a reliable and robust network, it costs a little extra money, but it's important because keep service up. That's part of our DNA. All right, now what you're looking at is what we got funded for the grant. So the green areas, and the reason why it's kind of blotchy is there's only certain census blocks that qualified for grant funding. That doesn't mean it's the only place we're going to serve. It's just the only place that the grant serves. Grant funded $25 million. which is 100% of what this project costs. So it's a really nice grant for us to secure. Everybody in the green areas is guaranteed to get service, and it'll be paid for by the grant. You can see the red line that comes down 180 out of Gale. It comes down and drops by the lake. Then you can see down around the lake, we have a wireless site, kind of that broader area. Then we come along, we get dropped through with the fiber through Ira, Dunn. We head over the highway, we come up through Hermely, back up through Snyder, back up through Savannah. Then we come off the mountain, we go north and we go into our network in Post. So that makes a complete ring. The important part of having fiber ring is if one side of your fiber gets cut, everything's going to flow the other direction. So it's a way of making it more survivable. Fiber gets cut. It's fact of life. When construction happens, somebody's going to eventually dig up the fiber. It's going to get cut. It takes several hours to go find it, dig it up, and resplice it. You don't want a community to be down for several hours while you're doing that. So it's important to have things on range. You see two little spurs that go out to the east. One goes towards Midway. The other one comes out of Dermont and goes out to the east. Those will be feeding also wireless sites that will cover kind of the blotchy green areas, but actually if you could draw a big circle, anything in that circle would be served by wireless. This is just what's funded by the grant. We will be adding additional sites with our money to try to reach every portion of Scurry County. I don't think we'll reach 100% of every location in Scurry County, but if you know of a place that needs broadband, you should call us and we'll figure it out. So, any questions on that while I have that map up? Our ring is the southern part of that ring from Gale all the way into Snyder is complete now. The northern part of the ring should finish this week. And so we'll be ready to turn up customers after we tested that out a little bit. This is our Snyder project. So this is not grant funded. This is Pocolambro funded. It's about a $16 million build. I think that number includes Hermely. Hermely's not grant funded, but it's Pocolambro funded. So $16 million for Snyder and Hermely, fiber to the home build. You can see the green area there. That's what we expect to get up in September, which is today. We're not turning up customers today, but before the end of the month is when we expect to do that. You know how projects go. I hope it's before the end of September, but we'll see. We're getting very, very close. And then the blue areas we expect to have before the end of the year, the yellow before July of next year, and then the red will finish it up in the second half of 2026. Any questions while I have that map up? Okay, as we build that out, one of the things that I think you're going to talk about a little bit is also doing some community Wi-Fi. And so our fiber to the home will be able to leverage that out and build a community Wi-Fi that will give citizens in Snyder access to free Wi-Fi. And I'll let you guys talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go into that in just a minute, but kind of what's been going on also with DCOS and with Broadband Development Office, and we have a committee for the Broadband Development Office that wanted us to put one together. We're working towards getting fiber to the community. And one of my requirements for that I put out was that I wanted it to do the outer ring. I wanted Ira, Hermely, Union, Savannah, Dermot. I wanted all of those included in anything. We talked about that when we presented the funds to look at building that out or doing the study on that. So to have Pocolambro get the grant to do exactly what I was wanting to do, wanting to include in that is fantastic. And I appreciate y'all coming in and doing all of that. It's all Scurry County. It's not just the city of Snyder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're really excited to be here too.
Thank you. And then and Barbara will talk about this some too, the Wi-Fi equipment on county-owned buildings agreement with Pocolambro. I'm gonna let Barbara come up and kind of, because she's kind of headed this up.
Great job, Patrick. I'm gonna put just a little one pager for you together. Just kind of let you know.
But DCOS has been connectivity, that's been our thing, just working towards that and working for that. And Pocoland's been a great, not just a reputable regional local company, but just also been a great community partner for Snyder already. So we're working with them on connectivity. So we received a grant that is allowable, that allows us to move forward with additional connectivity. So we would like to, and what we're looking at is putting Wi-Fi throughout the public places in Snyder for our community to make sure that they are connected. So we're rolling right along with Pocolandro as they lay the fiber in there. And as it comes through, whether that's September or the end of the year or the end of next year, as they're rolling it into the areas that are wanting to be covered, then the Wi-Fi spots will be available, and they'll have some signage where they can log in. We can see, and know that that's through Pocolandro, that that's through the DCOS, and that's through the funding of the grant that we've gotten. So it'll be available to anybody that's able to get that. It knows, for example, all through Toll Park. It'll start at the nature trail entrance. It'll come down through Toll Park. So you'll have it there in front of the armory. You'll have it at the softball field. You'll have it down at the pool. It'll run through all there. Winston Park, North Side, North Park. There's just different public areas that you have in, through Scurry County and the city of Snyder that Wi-Fi will be available. So,
And it'll be free to the public to be able to use.
absolutely. No cost to the county, no cost to the city. It's funded through the grant for the first 3 years of maintenance.
And so,
And Pocolandro will build out that. DCOS is paying for that build out. It's roughly 50 grand, I think, through the grant. And then they're doing the build out. So they've been a good community partner in that. And then also to maintain it and to keep it up and to do, it's not my world, it's their world. So they're going to take care of all of that for us.
we're working on an agreement. Patrick's looked at it and Mike has looked at it. Mike has added a couple of things that I'll give to Patrick to take a look at. But that's something that we would like to look at is to allow Pocolandro to put the equipment on our buildings. It's good to see a company come in and want to be a good community partner and bring jobs and people and a good product to the community. So thank you.
So after the 3 years, what is the estimated cost?
So that would be negotiated between us. And I see probably just for the connectivity and the economic development part of it, DCOS probably coming in, maybe partnering with y'all, maybe partnering with the city, y'all and us, and splitting that. I think it's roughly around $1,500 a month. Is what it is initially now with the build out and all of that. So we're covering that for the first 3 years, and then after that, we can negotiate, John. So, and see the direction that our board or my board would, like us to go.
Good, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But, where there's not a building, public building, like in a park, like in North Park, then it would be put on a pole.
Pole. It's a pole node, or like at the youth center, we were wanting to put one there just so while they have the games and the families or, parents would be able to be connected. So it would be on top of the building there. So anytime that we could use something that's already there and attached, we've kind of scouted those places. Pocolandro has already scouted and seen what's available, seen what we can work with, and that's how the locations were kind of chosen. So.
Thank you.
Very good.
Entertain a motion to
Sorry.
do the agreement or not?
Motion made, enter to agreement. Regardless.
And allow the judge to sign. A second.
All in favor? Thank you all. Thank you both. Thank you. It's good to have you all here in a few weeks. All right, I know I have Scurry next, but I want to go ahead and let Penny go. She needs to go discuss and consider annual Women's Golf Association Visitors Day.
Oh, thank y'all for standing. Penny Perry. I was just coming to the court to ask for, what we might call a guest day for the Ladies Golf Association. We have a lot of women that play golf out there. Not everybody's a member of the Ladies Golf Association. So it'd be mainly just for us, but other clubs have a guest day, usually once a year, one day. You know, we've gone to Odessa Country Club, Lubbock Country Club has one. They haven't had it in the last couple of years, but just where you can come and play their course. Well, at Odessa, we actually play free there, but, I was coming to see if possibly we could have a guest day, and I don't really have a date, but wanting to, like once a year, where we could invite, like each person right now, there's 10 really active players in the Ladies Golf Association, where we can invite 3 guests to come and play just for the cart fee. You know, we'd waive the green fee. So if, let's just say all 10 of us invited 3 players, and they each paid the $15 for the cart fee, that's $450 that, you know, would be bringing in. Normally, on a Tuesday morning, from 9 to 1 when we play, there's probably maybe, I wouldn't say there's probably more than 5 or 6 that would, say 5 or 6 that would play, non-members that would play that morning anyway. And so at a $40, it's $40 for a green fee and a cart. We're still bringing in more money than what we would, you know, if just, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, you know, paid the full green fee. Anyway, just kind of a goodwill to get ladies from other towns here. Hopefully someday that might can work into a, you know, a tournament where we would pay everything, but right now we just don't have a lot of ladies that, when you say come play at Snyder, they don't know how nice it is. And so, it was just kind of a goodwill thing to bring, you know, ladies in to play with us. It'll be once a year. And then, you know, we would go eat afterwards. You know, some might stay and shop, and anyway.
They might come back if they like it.
Yes, yeah. And like I said, hopefully we can work, you know, back into a tournament, you know, that we used to have, and, but anyway, so I was just asking for a guest day where we could they could come in, you know, we would each have our own, you know, own portion with 3 guests, and they would just pay the cart fee of the $15.
Okay,
So-
and this would be once a year?
Once a year, yeah. Not a specific date. I mean, we'd have to, you know, work on the date when we would have time.
Sure.
You know, like I said, I think it would really be bringing in more money than what we actually, you know, bring in for that morning anyway. So,
Well, I'll assume you talked to Bill. Bill, you good with it?
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I make the motion.
I'm good with it. I thought you were gonna ask a question.
No, I just was gonna ask if she was gonna get with Bill.
Yeah.
Okay,
Already been asked.
You need a motion.
yes, sir.
I'll make the motion. We allow Penny Perry to have a Women's Golf Day Association Visitors Day.
Second.
And waiving which fees?
Green fees.
Green fees. Okay. Seconded, all in favor?
Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, discuss and consider plans for road damages by
Yes, ma'am.
Scurry Precinct 3.
All right, how you doing?
Okay,
Good. All right. So I have my laptop here.
all right, I will try to make this reach.
If it doesn't, I can also sit up there. Go through on it too.
I believe it might. Yeah, I unplugged that.
Oh, is it too far?
No?
All right. Start hearing. All right. I think it'll get there. Okay.
You're up, Judge. Judge,
Yeah, looks like it's good to go.
It worked.
Yeah.
Was, one did.
And
you had a
Got one.
Time to update this equipment. Well, we just had to go with the one.
Let's say we could probably just go with one or one for now. Okay, so we're here to talk about the roads and the haul routes for the Canyon Wind project. So coming from discussions we had last, we compiled all of our pre-construction and post-construction photos. We left them with you the last time we were here, Mr. McCowan, but I have them all digitally here just so we can try and show it for everyone just so they can see it. So with that said, I wanted to go through your punch list that you had, and I only have one screen here, so if you want to call those out, I can pull up our pre-construction photos of everything before we started construction, and then also pull up our post-construction photos of the same areas to hit.
Before we do that, give us some background, what's going on with everything?
With this situation or just the whole
With this
project?
situation.
Okay.
yes.
So the background with this is once we finished construction, we had John come out and take a look at the roads, and we put together a quick list of things that needed to be fixed, mainly the three big asphalt repairs that need to be made. And that's all that, and we were told that we're good to go from a county road perspective. We just got to fix those three asphalt areas. That was back in March of, I want to say 24 or so. And maybe like 6 or 7 months later, we got the punch list of what we're about to discuss here this morning. And that includes multiple other county roads and whatnot, which we're happy to make right. On that note, whenever we started going through everything and going through which areas of the punch list and could we go out and go see and go drive these areas so we can actually go see what the damage is and measure it all out. We brought my construction superintendents out from the NextEra side, the Mortensen side, who also did the construction for the project. And we were prepared to go out and go look at every single issue and go take photos, measure it out, get bids, and make sure it's all rectified. We didn't end up getting to go and see all of the issues. There's just more, hey guys, all the roads need to be fixed. Pretty much all the linear feet out there need to be replaced as the roads are demolished. So with that said, there was, I think, an amount of, $4 million that was thrown around. And the thing is our project has been fully built out for a while, and we don't have that budget left in the project to pay out such an amount. So we really just needed more clarity on what the ask is, in particular the punch list items, what areas of the roads will need to be repaired, just so we get a little more clarity of like what actually needs to be repaired, as opposed to just a blanket financial ask for the company. So that's kind of where we're at. So that's setting the stage. We have gotten together with Commissioner Mitchell on the roads and the linear footage and what actually needs to be repaired there. It was very prescriptive. This is what needs to get done. This is the amount of linear feet that need to be repaired. This is the trucking cost, this is material cost, this is labor cost. And it made sense. You know, we looked at it and we said, hey, this is justifiable. Let's go ahead and get it done. So we went ahead and covered that. And now what's left is in precinct 3 that we need to rectify.
Okay, John, what's your?
Well, to begin with, y'all violated the road use agreement right off the bat.
How so?
I wasn't present nor a representative when these videos were before you started, and you videoed them after. I was not present at either one. I was not called because we talked about this, because the gentleman you had in charge down there, communication skills were basically nil. We've talked about this. And, many times down there to speak to him, I called him, he would never call me back. Then y'all switched, same thing. No communication. This could all been avoided, and we've talked about this. There was zero communication. And as far as what the roads, our clunky roads, I mean, y'all beat them up. Our roads were not made for that type of way, none of them. Now, am I glad to keep the wind farm? Yes, okay. But when you powder them up so bad, of course, it's West Texas, wind blows, I'm sorry. All of our fines leave. Y'all did core samples on several roads, and we're still patching them, because once you do a core sample, that will not stay. Okay? Where y'all's stackyard was, and your cement plant was, them roads, y'all, the edges are gone. And 394, where the crane crossed with no support put down, they just drove it across. Okay?
That's also not true. I mean, we did have a lot of support there. It was just super heavy, and it caved in there. There was
Okay, well,
there was definitely support there, and we're here to rectify that. And part of that is Mortensen agreed to cover those asphalt road damages. We're just still waiting on the invoice so that they can pay it. So we want to talk about that today too.
yeah, okay, we fixed it. My guys are sitting right back there.
Okay.
We fixed it. And as far as y'all putting support on that road, you did not. They drove it across the town.
Okay, so when y'all fixed it, have you submitted how much?
No, not yet, because I knew this was coming.
Okay.
I just,
All right, so what are you claiming is the damages, the total amount of damages?
well, I mean, every wind turbine, every generator, every blade, every tower come from the west. 3114. It went north on 1609, and then turned back east for a lot of them. The road I call Wiggins Road. A lot of them went south, down. I mean, you know, y'all never, your communication was horrible. We wouldn't be here had y'all communicated with me.
When, I'm trying to get a perspective on this. What are you claiming in damages? How much are you claiming in damages? And then I'm gonna ask him the same thing. How much are you claiming in damages?
I asked him $4 million.
James, what are y'all figuring?
We're just looking for justification of the 4 million.
Okay.
Because we literally went on a four-wheeler and went over every single piece of road.
Okay.
We measured it out, like, took days, we measured it out. And I'm just trying to figure out, so I have a number, I have a calculation of all the stuff that we did.
Okay.
Well, not even the punch list, this is like a blanket
Okay.
cap. This is a
All right.
blanket cap, which is not even where I even want to go. Because I want to address the punch list and
I'll give you
see.
a copy of this last time we talked.
Well, I'm really looking to see like what part of it, like, because the punch list discusses specific parts of the roads. We're happy to fix that. And then your ask is a blanket coverage of everything. So those two are not really
When you
lining
say
up.
blanket coverage of everything, what do you mean?
Basically, everything on the screen behind you in magenta is basically repairing every square inch of that.
Is that what you're asking for, Sean?
It is.
Repair of every road that's listed. up
Actually, you would take off several of those roads because several of those are FMs.
That's right. So for TxDOT, we've already remedied that with them. And for all of those asphalt repairs, it was just under 300,000 to fix all of the FM roads.
Okay, so you're, Sean, so I understand, you're saying a total rebuild of every county road that was listed in the road use agreement.
But, you know, Terry, you know, when you do anything to a paved road, you disturb the base. It's never the same. Now,
We mainly had at the first with the wind, the solar part of it, we mainly had broken edges. And that's why we received $1 million first.
we got
What came back though was when they did the best project. And that's when we started seeing many, and across the whole road of potholes and breakage in there. And so that's what we were looking at. That's what we got the 2.9 million for, was what Best did. And so, you know, really, if they're doing a solar, are they gonna use the same roads? And so that's what I waited for. I waited for them to finish the solar and the Best, because I didn't wanna have to go back and redo it again and argue with them about because what I visited with you about was the damages being on the edges of the road had narrowed significantly. Well, if it is significant damage along the edge of the road is now narrow, then we want to mill that road. And it was rough as well. And because of the roughness and because of that damage there, that's where the $1 million came from, to do that milling. But then I wanted to wait and see what kind of damage, because I knew what the weight of those batteries were going to be. And so this is a fully paved road except for the last mile. So we're talking about 11 miles plus, and then additional mile of road. I don't know how many of your roads are we talking about this paved road? And is it the edges that are damaged, or you have potholes everywhere?
the edges. We got potholes, especially where they did the core samples. You can go down block line. You can go down, what's that road we split up? Round top. You can go down there, half of it's jail, the other half's me. They core sampled it. We're still patching it. And I just,
Who did the core sample?
It was our third party who put together all of this to verify the roads could either take the load or not take the roads,
Okay.
or not take the loads.
Now, we went out there and we did all the patching. We patched everything. I didn't even put that in. What I put in was the milling and the repaving, which is double chip seal, right? Double chip seal to repave a road that you mill. And so that's what I was doing, and get the road back to the right.
Have y'all driven the roads together to discuss all of this?
Now, we drove the roads several times. My foreman with 45 years of experience in paving, he drove with they had actually hired a person that had been in road building business for years and came out, and also one of their own people came with us. So me and myself and two of their guys, and then they came back and went ahead and went with my foreman and one of the other guys, and they went back out and looked at it even again. So they went over it 3 or 4 times before we actually came to a settlement.
see, the last time when we all met up here, James, Garrett.
Yep.
Said, y'all had your own construction crew to repair the damages. Okay? And he said he was going to get with them, let them put the estimate of what they would charge, okay? What needs to be done.
Mhm.
I agreed to that, okay, because we weren't getting anywhere. But when Garrett said that, I agreed to it. I assumed it got done, but it doesn't sound like they did it.
We did, but my position is we are performing to the road use agreement. I have over 3,000 pages, and I'm happy to go through it all here today to go over the punch list items that we needed to fix, right? So from my perspective, and the company's perspective, is that those specific issues are the things that you want remedied, and we're happy to take care of it. We've demonstrated that we will take care of it. We just need some honestly, just justification of like what it is and to go see it. I was really put off guard when we didn't, there was no willingness to go look at all of the punch list items. We had our whole crew with us. We had like 8 people. Let's go take a look at it all. So we can go look at it, we can price it up, make sure it's all fixed. There's no willingness to do that, and that was offsetting.
Yeah, there was willingness to do that if we'd have done it earlier. But y'all come in here, you pay precinct 4 $200,000 roughly.
Yep, a little over.
Yeah. Okay. You had, when we first talked, y'all only had 400,000.
That's right.
Okay. Well, 200,000 is not gonna get anywhere close to what we need done.
I guess I'm not understanding why the willingness to go out and look at the roads together. I mean,
I
that's,
did, when we met, last
It was in January.
January, that's what they wanted to do.
Mhm.
But I tried to get them, as the project went on, the damages started. Okay, let's go look at this. I went to their office, their yard, several times
during the project.
during the project. Called several times, no return calls, left voice messages, went to the office. He wasn't there, or if he was there, he said, I can't go right now. I said, okay, call me when you can.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, so when they did come to you and
You know,
offer
he
to,
did.
I know, but I'm talking about when y'all met in January, you said
Yeah.
the project was over.
Mhm.
Why not go at that time?
Honestly, I wasn't interested because I knew what they were gonna do. Because they'd already said they had $400,000, okay? They paid Jeff over half of that for how much, mile?
3 miles.
3 miles, okay? That don't, I mean, if you wanna go look, we'll go look.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like that's what we wanted to do
Right, well,
in January.
yeah,
And, yeah, we were met with like, quite honestly, a succinct no. So we said, that's fine,
But-
that's fine. So we did it all by ourselves. So we walked, and we're on 4-wheelers for days,
Yeah, well,
measuring out all the linear feet
you need
to figure out what it is.
What you need to do is put somebody in your office that will return calls, do what I ask, and because honestly, that gets really old when Scurry County welcomed y'all. We do what y'all are gonna do to the roads, okay? But you put somebody down there that has no desire to communicate. And you violated, I will tell you again, the road use agreement, because I was not present when it was done, or my representative either time. You know it, and I know it, okay? But I guess that's gonna be a disagreement we're always gonna have. But if you wanna drive these roads,
We have.
but if you wanna go look again, we'll show you.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Everything on the punch list, I want to get a good idea of what's going on, right? And I also want to make very clear, I never received a call or text about any of the road issues. My contact information is in the road use agreement. I always reply to calls, always reply to texts very quickly, like within minutes. I never received a call. I didn't even know that was happening. I'll take that accountability and ownership of it. They should have called you back. They should have done that. There's no question about it.
Right.
I wish I knew, but as soon as I did find out this issue, I was like, okay, let's get everyone together. Let's figure it out. So we did that in January. It didn't happen. We wanted to hit that list. We wanted to go over everything. It didn't happen.
You're right.
So yes, because that list is not comprised of $4 million worth of issues. We really believe it's closer to the $400,000 of issues. So we want to go drive it. We want to go see it with our own eyes, so we all can agree to it and come to a resolution. You were unwilling to do it, which is
I
fine.
was, no doubt, but you gotta understand my position. I was met with flat no. Now, was I wrong for doing that? Probably so, but it's done. But when y'all start that solar deal, put somebody in there that will communicate. Please,
We will.
because that's all I ever ask.
I understand you may feel disrespected in that regard, and I do understand that. I don't want to dismiss that, and I'm sorry for that. There was no communication on that end.
No, and like I said,
But it sounded like you tried to rectify that in January. So what do we need to do to move forward now?
I have my perspective, and that's just go through the punch list items. I have all of the evidence here from pre and post construction with timestamps on them. That was my view. We'll just go through the punch list. Let's look at it and figure out what the damages are, and then move on from there. But I'm open to thoughts from everybody. But
I mean, Terry's been down this road before.
And the person I dealt with was the person like you that was on my paper. You know, he didn't, ultimately wasn't the one I dealt with on the repayment or the cost of what it would take to rebuild the road. But you're the same one that I would have dealt with myself, because it's who I dealt with Primoris. But yeah, going forward, I definitely would deal with somebody other than, because I talked to these guys out here as well, just like what you're talking about. And they were there, they was too busy. They changed hands a half a dozen times. There was, instead of one supervisor, there was 10 or 15. That's your guy right there. And then it even got involved with people up in the higher part of it. In fact, the actual owner got involved. I was dealing with 5 and 6 people at a time on Zoom. And then they finally sent this guy from Lubbock that had been in construction for years. And he just came down and he ran through with me down the whole entire road. Then he came back and went with my foreman, and they got the same answer from my foreman as they got from me, because I mean, it was evidently there, you know. So if it's there, then it needs to be paid for. You know, if the road isn't narrowed from the breakage on the edges down through that road, then it's a punch list. But if it is torn up, then that's something definitely needs to be taken care of. And even if there's not potholes there in those roads, and I don't run those roads, if those roads were smooth when you came and now they're rough when you drive them, not even a pothole, then that's damage that is below the pavement, that's in the base. And if it's a main road, and I don't know which ones it is or anything, But if it's a main road and it's rough and it used to be smooth, then that's damage to the road.
Right.
That needs to be taken care of and needs to be milled. And, you know, the milling and then the resurfacing of that road. What I'm seeing here is gravel road.
Right.
And that's a totally different animal and a whole lot cheaper to repair than paved roads. Now, Round Top that's a different animal. That's 2 precincts and it, you know, if it's been torn up, damaged, narrowed, rough, whatever, I just don't know. I know what I've done in the past and how I made it through that. I did it with your level rather than the folks that were out there doing the job because they are busy. They are fighting every day to get it done. And they're just not available.
Well, let's go ahead and let James go through some of these.
Sure.
Yeah, so, if we want to go through the first item that you had there, Mr. McCown, we can hit it.
3114 is asphalt. Shoulders are broken off, heavy trucks, potholes through the course section.
Okay. So I have 3114 here, and it basically takes a picture every 10th mile of the road, from a pre-construction standpoint to post-construction, and the photos are taken in the same exact spot. And there's also bridge review in there as well, as we can see here, just how things are there and if the bridges and culverts can take it. So I don't know how far we want to go. Is there a specific spot on 3114 that you wanted to hit? These are, so one is north facing and one is south facing.
And these are pre-construction?
These are pre-construction.
Okay.
So is there any spot in particular on 3114 that you wanted to hit?
It's the whole road and it's.
The whole road, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go through just kind of slowly these are the pre-construction photos of 3114. I don't know how far we want to go. I'll hit a mile on each and then we'll go from there. So these are going to be in the same order, the post-construction photos of everything. Ignore this part, it's still 3114, not 3115.
Mhm.
Just culvert conditions afterwards.
So say this one, Sean, what are you seeing on that one? Go back, James.
I mean, you can look at
This is
it.
half mile, I'll get the half mile equivalent here to show it back to back. So this is the pre-construction photos. Again, it's shooting north and south from the same point. This is
This is pre-construction.
Right.
Light long cracking. Roads all over path, light longitudinal cracking, traverse cracking at 15 feet.
So that, and then go into the post. It's this.
That's every one of them black spots. That's a rough spot in the road.
I mean, I could say the same here. The pre-construction photos as well. If we can't see it on the paved roads, then we can table the paved ones and hit the gravel roads if helpful.
I mean, if, you know, we're keeping all these people,
Yeah, I mean, I just want to like understand what.
well, I think what we need to do is respect this court and the people sitting in here, that we pick a day and we drive everyone on there, okay?
Okay. Now, what I don't want is we pick a day and we go out there and we just ultimately settle back on to the fact of every single linear foot of the road needs to be repaved. I mean, we've done it twice now, so that's my concern.
No, we're not gonna do that, but y'all pick a day.
Where are you at, Sean? I mean, as far as all of this, you believe that every road needs to be redone, edge, end to end?
Probably not every road.
Okay.
But, you drive them, we drive them every day, them guys drive them. And we know what they were and what they weren't, but if that will satisfy you.
I mean, we're really just looking to figure out like what constitutes the $4 million ask. And we're happy to play ball here and make sure we're doing the right thing at the end of the day. We just need to substantiate it with some sort of data versus just everything is needs to be repaired, which we don't think is right. And we don't believe that at all. I mean, we have all of the evidence here. We have, and I'm happy to go through it. I don't want to hold up everybody.
I don't either.
I'm happy for them to go first and then we can go through it. But I just don't understand the ask. And our ultimate goal is to make sure y'all's roads are taken care of to the point where you guys like it. But it's not like an open checkbook sort of thing because we strongly believe that we did not leave the roads in the condition to that you're outlining.
Right.
And we have that here, pre and post, and we're happy to go through it to prove that fact. But ultimately, we want to do the right thing.
What does the court want to do?
Well, I mean, that is all I'm asking, but, Terry's spoke up and I do appreciate that. The rest of y'all hadn't said anything.
I mean, this is another gravel road, right? 394 was also on the punch list. So this is the pre-construction photos of them. No ruts, light gravel, there's a crown. Our post-construction is light gravel, crown, undefined ditches. I'll go back, it's at the exact same spot, about a quarter mile north of County Road 394, taken south and north. This is pre, this is post. Obviously, one's a lot more dry than the other.
Sure.
But from our perspective, we're just trying to figure out what substantiates the ask.
Is there a specific area on 3115 that you're looking at?
The whole deal was, it's no fault of theirs that it never rains in this country. But, them heavy loads powered it up. Y'all all know when you do that, the wind blows, it leaves. Yeah. But
that right there looks good to me. I mean, I'm not driving it, but just looking at that, they look very similar. I don't see any big ruts or washboarding or anything.
The thing is, I have put together all of the notes for it. So, I mean, one question I have for you is do you know how many linear feet is in the scope of what you're asking for?
I don't have the exact linear feet, no.
So we measured it out foot by foot of every road, and we're at 137,488 linear feet that you're asking for basically brand new roads for. Again, like I strongly, our position is we're not liable to redo every single linear foot of this road. And we don't believe the condition that we left them in are horrendous, I think was the word he used.
I do have one question. On your post, your right one there, how long after, because how many times have we bladed that road before you took that picture?
I don't have that exact answer to your question, but I do know it was taken on June 25th of
Yeah,
24.
we've probably bladed that road 4 or 5 times by the time you took that picture.
In 24.
Trying to get it back into shape
Yeah,
like it was
trying
before.
to clean it back up. So all of your post pictures that you've done, how many times have we bladed those roads before y'all took those pictures?
I don't have the answer to that question.
Yeah, I don't either.
However-
That's my question.
However, before all of our crews left, they got Wish on. He said he had no issues with the county roads. There was 3 asphalt roads that there were issues with. So I'm just trying to figure out, all right, I know that happened. Sounds like you guys have bladed. Like
At
where,
least
like,
twice.
like where do we,
You
where do we
can blade
stand?
them, when you lost all your fine material, you can blade them today and they'll be the same way tomorrow because we have no material left on it. It's gone. Poof. Gone with the wind.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So Judge, if I may, maybe we can short circuit this a little bit. The road use agreement and the tax abatement agreements both contemplate if there is a default, if the court declares a default or wants to declare a default, they give notice to the company of what the default is. And that company has, I want to say 90 days, don't quote me on that, to remedy the default. And at that point, if it's not remedied, then either party can go to court and sue, and here we go. So it sounds like to me, the question that we're grappling with here is, what is the county claim? If the county's claiming a default, what specifically are we claiming the default is? So that they have a target at which to shoot, to say, okay, you claim this is the default, let us try and fix it. We have 90 days to either fix it or compensate. I think that's where I hear you talking past each other. You say, well, there's a default. Well, what is the default? Well, there's a default. So I think there needs to be something specific that says, here's where we are claiming the damage is and what it's going to cost to fix it or whatever. And then if the court wants to, you can do this without court intervention. The commissioner of that precinct can get that to the company and say, here's what I think the default is. It's coming from me, not the court. If that doesn't work, then that commissioner can come back to the court and say, here's what I think the default is. The court can then vote on it and say, we agree, disagree, or find somewhere in the middle and send them a specific notice of default. Here's what it is. And that will start their 90-day clock running. It sounds to me like we're not quite there yet of the court saying, here's what the default is. And it may take a little work among the commissioners for you to explain and to decide. But there's also a provision in the agreement that discusses a good faith effort to resolve the issues and maybe even mediation if the parties agree to that. I don't know that we want to do that, but it sounds to me like we're not quite closing that gap enough yet. But it sounds like we're making progress. You guys are at least talking. Let's drive the roads. See, we may not get there, but it doesn't sound like we've started that process yet for the court to say, okay, we can find a default. I don't know if y'all have enough information from Sean yet to say default 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's the remedy we want. Does that kind of summarize where we are?
Yeah, I would say in part, right? I think the items of the prescriptive list of 1, 2, 3, 4 is the punch list.
I haven't seen it.
That's totally fair. I think that is what we're looking to get remedied. And we said, okay, let's go walk it. Let's go look at it and we'll take care of it. It's also in the agreement. It's also, there's an election that the company is able to go and fix all the roads. At that point, you were not having that and you wanted only your folks to work on the road. And that's where we got in the impasse. It's like, okay, you furnished the list. I looked at the list. I said, okay, let's go look at it all, make sure we're all in agreement with the list. Didn't want to do that. And then 2, in the agreement, it says that owner can elect to either pay a lump sum amount or fix the roads with their own folks. And at that point, you also didn't want to do it. So that's where the impasse started to happen. So I'm just, obviously, we don't want to get to a default point of, it makes no sense. So I'm trying to find a mutually good conclusion for both parties here. So, I mean, the $4 million ask is ridiculous. It straight up is. We measured every linear foot. We did a price for a 2-inch cap. We did a price for a 1-inch cap. We did a price for a 3-inch cap and a 4-inch cap for all that linear feet. So my question is we've done our homework on all of this, but we've been met with resistance from the county on this, and we don't even know the full linear feet of the ask. So we're having trouble justifying why the $4 million ask. And if so, what is another ask that the county thinks is reasonable, considering where we're at?
So let me ask this, is a month from now too soon to,
I'm ready today.
I know you are, but to give you opportunity, give Sean opportunity to get the full punch list for there to be a meeting to look at the roads and potentially maybe one of the other commissioners go with you.
Be fun.
Is that too soon to come back to court or to reach an agreement before then? Is that?
No, it's not too soon for me.
No, I mean, I'm prepared to do it today. I'd rather, I'm really just I'm struggling to understand the justification on all this. And if there is no justification yet, that's fine.
Well, I will tell you that I did hit you hard, because I did with the request, okay?
Yeah, and the
Because
evidence doesn't show that.
The reason I did that is, even Terry will tell you, the damage that was done during construction, a lot of that does not show up until later. You know, year, 2 years, whatever.
If
You're
I,
talking about paved roads.
yeah, but if I drive a truck really hard for 50,000 miles and I sell it, do I expect that me as the original owner has to pay for the damages later on that truck's engine if it blows up at 110,000 miles? No.
Well, if that damage has occurred, even though there's not a pothole, it's rough. So was it rough before and it's rough now? That's what I encountered.
Yeah,
It was very rough. The road was very smooth whenever we started. Whenever it was finished, there weren't a lot of potholes. There was a lot of destruction on the edge of the road, but there was roughness in the road. And so then as the best came in, that began to really fill the road up.
these are two unrelated projects to this
Yes.
one? Okay, okay. Understood. I mean,
No, it was the same company that
right,
did it. It was just later on.
right.
And so I waited through for the entire, both the solar plant to be put in 5.5 sections and then also after the BESS. And the BESS is what really brought that roughness. It started filling out the road, the base and everything. So we started seeing all those potholes that I knew was going to come because of, it's even heavier. But the whole idea of the first project with just the solar was that the road was now rough, where it wasn't before. So we already knew there was damage, but there was enough flex in that asphalt covering that it didn't create a pothole until we got more trucks on it.
Makes
That's where we
sense.
start seeing. But what you're seeing, of course, and I think what Sean has done is he felt disrespected because he couldn't get anybody to visit with him.
I agree.
Didn't call him about going out and taking videos of the road beforehand and couldn't get an answer from anybody. And he just didn't realize he needed to speak to you and get that going. So he made a shot at what he felt like it would just get your attention. And I think that he's willing to go back now and say, okay, let's go look at the roads. Let's see what the damage is. Let's see how rough the roads are now compared to what they were previously.
Yeah,
and then let's make it right.
yeah. And to be completely frank with y'all, I don't want to drag this out, right? I really don't. I mean-
It's been dragged out long enough.
I agree. I think we all can agree on that. So we've done our homework on the price of everything. To do a blanket 1-inch cap on everything, we're right at 894,000, right around that range.
Right.
That's for a blanket 1-inch cap of material on everything. That's what we're proposing. One, we don't agree that we destroyed all of the roads to the extent that you're claiming, but we're willing to pay for all of the material, and that's our cost to do it. That's material and our labor to do it.
So is that
896.
896
Yes, sir.
is y'all doing all of it, correct?
That is.
Or is that the price that your construction company, that y'all always have? Their figures for them to do.
That's for our EPC Mortensen to come out and lay a 1-inch cap on everything. Now, with that said, we want to do what is right to the county and what y'all feel is reasonable. And I know you've expressed many times that you would like Del's own crew to do it. So we're willing to just cough up that full amount to the county as like material, I suppose, for y'all to do what you wish with it. We don't need proof of like, yeah, hey, XYZ roads, we're done. It's just more of this is a lump sum amount.
Right.
To do it.
So you're willing to settle the issue for 800 and whatever
896,000.
to resolve everything?
Yes.
Because, like I said, the issue we have is the breaking off of roads. And,
Sean, without driving them, without going out and doing another set of eyes on it, is that offer of 800 and whatever, is that anything you would consider recommending to the court to do it today or no?
yes, it would, because we can do it cheaper.
Sure.
We have the equipment, we have the manpower.
So if he were to write you a check today for 800 and whatever thousand, or is that something that you would approve, that the court would
Yes.
approve to resolve this issue,
Yes.
and we can all move forward?
Yes, that's exactly it. I'd be happy with that. I really would. And what I don't understand is why it took pulling teeth to get here. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter.
I agree.
If you're willing to do that, let us do the work. I'm ready to, I'll be more than happy to.
Okay. Well, if that is,
If the court, it's my precinct, you want to be on the agenda,
okay.
so if the court,
So,
I'm willing to, yes.
okay. So I suppose the revised pitch to the court is, as it relates to the Canyon Wind project with Scurry County, as it relates to the road use agreement, the company, Next Air Energy Resources, is willing and wanting to make sure all the performance assurances are met in the road use agreement by way of paying out to the county $896,000 as a lump sum payment to Precinct 3 for the full remediation of the roads and to perform to the road use agreement. That is what we're asking for approval this morning.
Man, like I said, this is, it took way too long. I'll take part of the responsibility for us to get here.
As will I.
And
As far as the next projects,
Yes.
what do you have coming up?
So that is one thing I wanted to discuss as well after this was in the road use agreement there, which I know it's not on the agenda, what we're looking to not have happen again, and a lot of that responsibility is on myself and Rob for the next project, who's Rob is right here, for Flatland Solar, is that there is a person that's available at all times that you guys can reach and contact, so you guys don't feel disrespected in that regard, because I definitely understand that feeling, and I'm sorry for that. So moving forward with that, that'll make sure it'll happen, but what we don't want to have happen again is where we're in the situation of one party says one thing and another party is claiming the other.
Are you using the same county roads?
We'll be using a subset of the county roads, but it won't be to the extent
Because that
of this
solar farm is more
contained.
contained.
Right. This was 60,000 acres in the solar farms, I believe,
Yeah.
right around 5.
The other deal is when it comes to the solar farm. When it comes to the solar farm, I'm gonna be a beneficiary of it, okay? They're putting them on my place. I have always abstained. I will continue to abstain from voting on the solar, okay?
Right.
But please give me somebody that I can get with when all that starts, that will return my call me. That's all I'm asking, is communication.
You got it. He's right here.
Okay,
Give me a call whenever.
okay.
Sorry.
And if I could make one other suggestion, perhaps to further insulate you, maybe for that project and that project, appoint or ask one of the other commissioners to be your proxy for that project. That way you don't have that personal issue.
I mean, I'm gonna benefit from it.
Sure, and we've discussed it at length, but
And I'm not,
that way you're completely separated
Right.
from it, and ask for a volunteer or just
yeah.
volunteer.
But I've always abstained when it comes to the solar. I will continue to abstain. But as far as what goes on in precinct 3, I just need somebody to talk to. And it sounds like I'll have it this time.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's him or I.
Good.
So what are your thoughts on the agreement that they put out there, 896,000?
That's correct. It's a lump sum.
I think both agree on it.
Sean's decision, that's his precinct.
I mean, like I said,
We'll need a motion and a vote from.
but if you're willing to do that,
Yes, sir.
we can do it cheaper than y'all can. And I'm not gonna say we're gonna fix them right now until the solar gets through. And then, like I said, I'll stay out of that deal too.
Okay.
But I didn't benefit from one farm.
You want to make a motion?
Yes, I make a motion that we accept next year's energy to compensate precinct 3 for road damages in the amount of
$896,000. Yes, sir.
All in favor? Thank you, man. This is
All right.
finally done.
I can breathe.
Me too.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no.
Excuse me, Judge.
All done.
After that, yeah.
I think we'll have to, I don't know if we need to put it into like a letter agreement as an additional document to the road use agreement, where we have to do that. I think in the,
Covers both parties.
yeah, I think it does. In the meantime, though, to get y'all paid out, kind of the same thing that we did with your precinct, is put together an invoice just from Scurry County, made payable to precinct 3 for all the roads. I would just list the roads from the road use agreement and the punch list in the invoice, just prepare for X, Y, Z.
Right.
And then we'll get that paid out.
You gotta satisfy the number of printers when I get that.
That's right. They don't let me do anything without.
I understand.
Okay. But for the Flatland Solar project, that is full on in the engineering phase. We're almost done with all the design there. Once we do get all the design done, we'll coordinate with all of our pipeline operators that are out there. Make sure we're getting crossing agreements from all of them. We have proper separation from their gas pipelines.
Y'all are surveying it right now.
What's that?
Y'all are surveying it right now.
Yes, sir. We're making sure wherever we have collection lines are going in the right spot. It's all surveyed. We'll put together those exhibits, and once it gets to that mature point, we can get a off-taker for it. Like Steel Dynamics was the off-taker for Canyon Wind. We'll find another for Flatland, and that should be under our targeted commercial operations date once everything finishes to the end of 27. With construction starting as early as the second quarter, so maybe June of next year.
They've been saying they're gonna build the substation first.
Right. They'll have to start that first.
Right. Got a place for it to go. But anyway,
Do you need to start before July 4th?
Possibly.
Does that come into play?
Not for construction, but, but here's your HDMI cord.
Thank
Now,
you.
are there any other questions regarding the wind project or the solar project that NextEra is doing?
of course, the solar project is to come. I'm happy with the wind project. And if there was been communication, we wouldn't be here.
I agree.
It's resolved, so we're gonna go with it. Everybody's happy, I'm happy. So.
Just make sure y'all go drive the roads together. before-
Oh, we will.
Before and after. Yeah, we're gonna take a photo with each other. Time stamp and everything.
I need your card.
Yes, we can do a card. And then was there another question on this side of?
Sean, is the roads that they're going to be using for the solar project, is it some main roads with quite a few homes on it?
They haven't really said what roads are gonna use
Right.
or which way they're coming.
Okay. So the only suggestion I would have is if it's all possible to bus from a central location, the people that are actually doing the construction of the project. We had 500 cars a day for months on one road. And it disrupted a lot of people, ranchers, farmers out there. If you can do that, that would alleviate a lot of the pressure. If it's not where there's a lot of homes, if it's Cleachy roads, they're going to be a sandstorm every morning.
They are, but they haven't said what roads.
Yeah.
And the minute they do, I will present it in court to all three of y'all, four of y'all, five of y'all. To include this one. But until that happens, I don't know which direction they're coming from, nothing.
Right. And once we get that engineering done, where we know things aren't gonna be moving anymore, we'll put together an initial haul route, and Rob will get up here and present that initial haul route. And we want you guys to poke holes in it.
Yeah, 'cause we'll-
What's a good road, what's not a good road, where the laydown yard should be for everyone to drive into. And then from there, they'll get on, their equipment and go to where they need to go. But we're not at that point yet, but once we do, we can make sure it's presented, and Rob will do that. In addition to that, we can also, within the road use agreement, we can amend it to make it more prescriptive of what we need to do. Like if we need to water, roads
Well,
multiple times a day or whatever. it may
That
be.
is one thing during the wind project where homes were and all that. You'll get about water. You really want.
All right, we're getting way outside.
Oh, yeah, sorry about
What's
that.
up now?
Sorry about that.
Okay,
All right.
All right, as far as the solar project is concerned too, what you want to think about, and I think this would be with, since we're here and we're talking about the project. You want to be sure that you put in all roads that will go to that place. I had Primoris actually made road maps for the roads that we agreed to. And Google took these guys everywhere but. So you're gonna need signage for them to don't take this road. I don't know how you do that. We tried a lot of things.
I was going to Wichita Falls the other day and saw signs at the end of county roads, no solar traffic.
Okay.
So, and I thought that was a fantastic
Yeah,
idea.
that's a good idea. But usually they go wherever, it doesn't make any difference how difficult the road is.
Right.
They went down 1116 and I'm telling you, some of them just barely got out of there
but
for those long hauls with those turbine blades and stuff. It was amazing.
when they get the roads they're gonna use for the solar, I'll have it on the agenda, I'll present it to y'all,
Sounds good.
and, anyway, like I said, thank you, James.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
James.
Thank you for
Thanks
hearing us out.
coming.
Thank everybody for their patience on everything as well.
We'll move on to discuss and consider possible funding of courthouse restoration. So I wanted to bring this up. We have that election or vote in November, and Historical Commission is putting out information. And one of the first questions is, where does the money come from? We've discussed to some extent that we're not gonna raise the tax rate for it, not go out for certificates of obligation and not go out for bonds. My thought, and I've mentioned it, but I didn't put it to y'all. I mean, I've mentioned it to y'all, but not as a, what are your thoughts, or get an agreement on that. My thought is the abatement money we get, the payments we get every year, set those aside, put them in a tax class account and build that until we get to the amount needed, whatever the amount is, if it's 3 million or 10 million, but we don't do the restoration or apply for the restoration grant until those funds are there in total.
So, how much is the grants?
The grant right now is $10 million.
And they're trying to up it, I understand.
Yeah, so they went from 42 million funding grant courthouse restorations to 100 million funding grant courthouse restorations. The question is, are they gonna do more courthouses or more money to each courthouse? We don't know that yet. But we have time for that. We're not looking at applying for the actual restoration grant for at least 3 years from now. Because it'll take that long to get through the master plan and then the planning phase. Planning phase for next year, we had 300,000 out of the same fund, Fund 29, which we budgeted, and I remember discussing that with y'all for the planning phase of that grant. But I want to use the same fund, Fund 29, where we put all of those abatement funds to fund the courthouse. So let NextEra and some of the other companies pay for the restoration of our courthouse. So I'd like the court to go on record, if you agree with that, to go on record with that.
So this is not 100% grant then?
No, and that's what I said, it's a 90-10. The restoration is a 90-10. And then anything over that amount is funds that you will have to come up with. So if it's a $12 million project, we would have to come up with, well, if they take whatever the planning costs, they take that out first. So if it's $1 million for the planning, you have 9 million for the restoration. If it's a $12 million project, you have to come up with 3 million. But if it's 15 million or 18 million, you have to come up with those additional funds currently. We don't know what they're gonna do with the additional 58 million that they're putting towards that. But I don't wanna raise taxes. I don't wanna go up for COs, and I don't wanna go up for bonds. And
No, I wouldn't either.
They're gonna do the historical commission is gonna do an informational meeting, end of October. Kind of ask questions, what it is, what's going on, and that's one of the biggest questions. And I'd like to be able to answer that for them, so that we are on record that this court says, no, we're not gonna do that, this is where it's gonna come from.
Yeah, Fund 29, in my mind, if we're gonna, if the people agree in November, absolutely. I do not want to do bond or.
We can't.
Okay, so
Thank
I
you.
will, are there any more thoughts or questions on that aspect of it?
So
Or any other?
what are we looking at? Is payment of the taxes.
So,
I know we've said it before, but
yeah, so the next 2 years is a little over $1 million, and then it jumps to $3 million for the other projects that are coming on. So after 3 years, you're looking at $5 million. And then after another year, you're looking at $8 million. And then another 3 million or 3 million would be 11 million. So, in the 3 years, we're looking at 2 million at the end of the planning phase. And then another 3 million, because it would take 2 years for that process or another year to go through that process. And the growth phase is every 2 years.
But we can't really consider the future projects that haven't started.
No, and I'm not. This is just the projects that we have on the books that, well, they've already signed agreements with us.
yeah, we don't need to.
And if we don't get there, we don't fund the project.
We don't need to obligate all the payments of the taxes in case, God forbid, we need it for something else.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
What if
you never
we
know.
did a percentage of them, like with how much they are? If we did a 90%, if it's $1 million,
Mhm.
we put 900,000 into that fund and save 100,000 for wherever
I mean,
else.
I don't think we need to use all of it. But that's my thoughts, what those thoughts.
I think we just need to wait and see what the voters are gonna say before we worry about it.
Well, and that's one thing the voters worry about is where the fund's gonna come from. And I think if we told them that we are not gonna raise taxes to do this. That answers that one question.
But I mean, if you do 100,000 per figure, 100,000 for 8 years, that's only 800,000.
You mean setting aside? No, I mean like 10% of it.
Yeah.
So if you said, if it's $1 million next year, $1 million the following year, or $1.2 million,
Mhm.
whatever it is, and then it jumps to 3 million, 10% of that is 300,000. So in 3 years, you'd have $500,000. The first 2 years, or the first 3 years,
Mhm.
and for the next 5 years, 4 years, you're still getting 300,000, or you'd still be setting 300,000, so you build up.
But is that enough to set aside?
No.
No, I don't either.
I mean, we could change it to 20% or whatever, but we wouldn't fund the project.
I mean,
Or we wouldn't go out for the restoration grant until the funds we knew the funds were there.
we don't think,
I think if the people vote unanimously or at a high rate of 70-80% that they want to do this, I think then we're certainly going to be on the hook to do it.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to know where that money's coming from, because I'd bet that 40% wouldn't vote for it if they thought we were going to go out for bonds or something like that. Another way, this way that might
I
actually.
mean, I'm not gonna go for it if we go out for bonds or
Yeah.
raise taxes either,
No.
but I don't know. I'd say a minimum 20%. I mean, as it goes, it's gonna get less. is for what we get.
Yeah, in 8 years, it drops off drastically
Right.
Unless more projects come.
unless more projects come.
Because we need to set aside some of that. But that's just my thought.
I guess the only fear I'd have would be if the policymakers or people that are pushing and lobbying to our legislature actually are able to get done what was done in California, and they do take us to 1%. I can't imagine that Texas would do that, but
You don't know.
no, you don't.
Well, I do know that there are projects that if they don't start the project by July 4th, they lose the federal guarantee of money. So, and that is wind and batteries. I think solar is left out of that, if I'm not mistaken. Or the solar may be a part of that as well. I don't remember for sure.
I have to look more into it.
Yeah.
What about data centers?
Data centers are completely out of it.
Out of it.
Mhm.
They're making the investment anyway.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They've gotta have it.
Are you speaking from like a federal or legislative?
Federal.
Yeah, I think you have to have like the equipment safe harbored by, I think it's July 4th of this year, or 26. It's one of those 2 years. But yeah, you basically have to buy all of your equipment that you're gonna be, or 5% of the equipment that you're gonna use by that date, or else you're out.
If it's this year, they're already sunk.
I'm pretty sure it's 26.
Yeah, I think it's-
That's the calls I've been getting. Wait till she comes back. Yes, ma'am.
On Fund 29, what, the 150,000 for the armored vehicles, that coming out of Fund 29?
Potentially, yes. Yes, if
For
we do,
next year.
if it, yes.
Okay, so you've got 300,000 or what, 150,000 already out for next year. When are you planning on starting this?
It would be whatever remaining funds next year and then the following years after that.
I'll move up progress.
Mhm.
I'll move up progress.
Is it on you?
Quit waiting.
All right, so, if you don't mind.
You're afraid to sit close to me, aren't you?
I think he is.
I think he's
Right up against me.
This is where the cheer was when I said.
They got in trouble last time.
Bad influence.
Yeah, that's bad.
I guess I would make a motion that, regarding the courthouse restoration, that Scurry County will not, increase the tax rate or go out for COs or bonds to fund the restoration, but would instead use the funds from, wind, solar, battery, any other type of abatement that we do, to fund those once the total amount needed would be there minus 20% set aside each year from those funds for other projects.
Second.
You got all that?
I'm writing as fast as I can. Ran out of room.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Thank you. All right, court to consider a special election. Scurry is not here, but we do have an election coming up, and That will be,
It's different from
yeah,
the other day.
applications by mail must be received no later than close of business on 10/24. Federal postcard applications, same date. And this election will be held on November 4th. Did any of you did you go to the election or hear anything on the election requirements this year? They cut out the 3 days of early voting, or of difference between early
But it
voting.
doesn't take effect until, it's not gonna be at this one.
This one, the next.
It will not be at
next
it won't be at the primary. It'll
November.
probably be the November general before it actually takes effect,
year. Okay,
according to what they told us in our meeting the other day.
okay.
So what I read here, this has got to be done. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Make the motion that we approve the special election.
Second.
Agreement, whatever.
All right, all in favor? That we have a special. election.
Do we need to pass this around?
Yes, ma'am. All right, intergovernmental agreement between Scurry County and Kenny County. This is the housing agreement for them. Anything special?
Standard contract,
Same one we do with all of them.
yes, nothing's different.
$60 a day.
Doug, I make a motion that we accept the interlocal agreement between Scurry County and Kenny County with Sheriff Wilson.
Second.
All in favor? All right, and now for some good news, the S&P rating review for Scurry County. This is information.
I received I had multiple calls with S&P Global for their ratings, and this year's rating, after they got the final audit report and all of the information received, they rated us as an A+, outlook is stable, affirmed an A+ rating, outstanding general obligation debt. The outlook is stable, rating reflects our application and methodology for rating U.S. governments. And this is posted on our website as well.
Great.
Need a motion?
Better than it used to be.
Yeah, that's information only. Just our credit rating has gotten better, not that we're going out for credit, but it helps with other areas as well. All right, certified revenues.
There's a certified revenue for precinct 2, Snyder Iron and Metal for $680.63. There will be a budget amendment placing those funds into a line. There's another certified revenue totaling $20,560.98 for prisoner keep funds for the sheriff's office. And there's another one for $29,884.20. This is for EMS from the Panhandle Regional Advisory Council. This is paying back to the county, part of Jimmy's travel when he went to go help with the flood and everything. And there will be another check coming soon for about, I think, $13,000. And there will be a budget amendment placing those funds into his general payroll line.
Make the motion to approve certified revenues as presented.
All in favor? All right, line item transfers
Okay.
and budget amendments.
Okay, there are a few.
Let's see, the first one is a line item transfer for county judge into uniforms, $84 out of office supplies to order shirts. County clerk's office uniforms, $136 out of office supplies for shirts. Adult probation, into auto expense, $1,000 out of other equipment, to balance the auto expense line for the probation. Parks Department into equipment from $1,000 to $5,000, $4,600 out of capital outlay to purchase a stove for the armory. Precinct 4 into tires, $6,000 out of road material and construction, increase in tire repair and replacement. Missed it driving on my road. I said, you must have been driving on my road. I have to replace a lot of tires. That's on the line on transfers.
That's a hint.
Uh-huh.
Do the budget amendments too.
Budget amendment is, bonds and notaries, 1,655, for county judge. This year, they did increase, the amount for probate, right?
Probate and guardianship bonds.
Yeah, so,
100,000 to 500,000.
yes, and that was effective yesterday. So let's get that in place. Road and Bridge Precinct 2, safety and training, this is put in that 68863 into the, safety and training line. And then EMS, 29,884.20, this is also to general payroll, putting those funds be certified.
Let's make a motion to approve line item transfers of budget amendments as presented.
Second. All in favor? Approval of accounts payable.
Okay,
Big.
accounts payable is large. It is $2,611,058.51. However, $1,049,372.55 of that is payment on the EMS building for Butler Cohen.
Yeah, I fainted when I first saw that number.
Yes.
Till I read that.
That was on the, I missed the June.
Oh, make a motion to pay the bills.
Second. All in favor?
I already had you wrote down.
All right, we don't have an executive session, so we will adjourn.
You guys are-